In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can make this lovely dress here. Now, the only difference between this and what I have is the sleeve and what we have along the chest area. Every other thing is basically the same. So let's just go ahead and get started. So these are the materials I'm going to be making use of. I have this crepe. This one is 2 yard that I'm going to be using for the down part, and I also have this one here. This is the black color, and this material here is stretchy. I don't know the name of this material, but you can get crepe. Alright, as you can see, it stretches. So I also have my pattern paper here, and we are going to first draft out a basic bodice. So from the top, I will just draw a line across to serve as our shoulder line, and from that line we are going to be taking all our vertical measurements. So you place your tape here and you come down to your bust point. Shoulder to bust point for me is 11 inches. I'm just going to mark 11 inches here. I'm going to mark my under bust, which is 14, and I'm also going to mark my waist, which is 17. And after then, I'll mark the full length of the upper part, like where you want the V cuff to stop. Alright, so I measured down to 6 inches. So let's just go ahead and connect all these lines. So right now I have my bust point, which is somewhere here. I have my under bust, I have my waistline, and I have the hemline. So this is like the full length of the upper part. You can call it the hemline, or you can call it the hip line. So from the shoulder line here, I'm going to come in by 3 inches neck width. I'll come down by 3 inches neck width. If you don't want it to be too high, you can use 3.5 inches neck depth. Alright, so I went ahead to connect it, and from the center part of my fabric again, I'm going to mark half of my shoulder. My shoulder is 15 and half of it is 7.5. I marked it here, and from that point I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Alright, so I'll connect from that 1 inch point down to meet my neck width, just like this. So once you've connected that, the next thing now is to get our armhole, and to do that we'll need to get the chest line. So for you to be able to get your chest line, you're going to come to this point here. You're going to come down by your chest line, like your armhole depth. So if you don't know how to get this, divide your round bust by 6 and add 1.5 to it. Whatever you have, come down from the shoulder slope area and mark it, then connect a straight line across. So you are going to call this the chest line. So after that, from the chest line, I'm also going to go in by half of my shoulder measurement. This is to help me get a straight line. So from that point, I'll connect it this way to meet the top here, just like this. So once you're done connecting that, the next thing now is to get the midpoint, like from here to here. So I had 8 inches and half of 8 is 4, and from that point I'm going to come in by ½ inch, and on the chest line I'm going to mark my round bust divided by 4. I marked it here, so I'm going to now use my curved rule to connect my armhole. After connecting my armhole, I'm going to come to the bust point here. I'll come in by half of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is also known as my bust span. So I marked it on the bust line, on the bust line, and I'll mark it on the waist line, and I'm also going to mark it on the hemline. And then I'm just going to go ahead and connect all those points to give me a straight line. Next, I'm going to come to the waistline, and I'll go out on both sides by ½ inch. So we are trying to get our dart So go out on both sides by half of an inch, and from the bust point I'll come down by 1 inch. And once you've done that, you're going to connect it. So connect from here to meet that 1 inch point, just like this. So I'll connect from here to this point, and then I'll connect this now to meet this other point here. Now once you've done that, you're going to come to your waistline. You come down by about 4 inches or 4.5 inches. You can also use 5 inches. So I came down by 4 inches. I'll now connect all these points to meet that point I marked. So once you're done, you're going to have something looking like this. So remember, we have our round bust divided by 4 already on the chest line here. So that means there'll be no need to mark it on the bust point. So you come down to the waistline, you're going to mark your round waist divided by 4. So I marked mine here. I'm also going to replace the dart that I have, which is 1 inch. I marked it here. Now once you're done with that, on the chest line here, you're also going to add 1 inch again for your stitching allowance. I decided to add 1 inch for stitching allowance on the chest line. I'm just going to connect it downward just like this. Alright, and then from this waistline here, you are now going to connect from this waistline down to meet your hemline. But remember, from the waistline I came down by 6 inches, and that 6 inches is the length I want my V shape to stop. Alright, so remember, from the shoulder I had 23 inches. Alright, so I'm trying to explain that I came down from here to the hemline by 6 inches. So I went ahead to connect a straight line across to meet that point, just like so. Now, and if you notice, from the waistline, after marking my round waist divided by 4, I added 1 inch. Alright, for the zipper, for the dart, you will need to replace it so that it will not be too tight. And then I didn't add any stitching allowance to it because the material I had was already stretchy, and I didn't want to have it too loose. I want it to be somehow tight, like fitted. That is why I didn't add stitching allowance to it. So right now that I'm done cutting, I just went ahead to bring out my black fabric, and then I'm just going to place the pattern paper on it and trace this out. Alright, so if the material you're using is not stretchy and you want yours to be a little bit loose, go ahead and add stitching allowance to all of it. Alright, so I'm going to place this now and then pin it down. I'll then cut it out. So we are cutting out the front pieces first, and we are using this same pattern to cut out both the front and the back. While cutting this, I added ½ inch of stitching allowance on the armhole. I added same stitching allowance on the shoulder line, and then I added stitching allowance on the down part, but I didn't add it to the neckline. Remember, the neckline is already high, so I didn't add any stitching allowance. So when I'm stitching my neckline, it will now be 3.5 instead of 3 inches. If you don't want yours to be too deep, you can add stitching allowance to it. So I went ahead to place the back pieces again to cut out the front pieces to cut out the back, and what I did was to come down from the shoulder by 1.5 inches for the back neckline. So I'll just go ahead and connect it like this. Remember, the back neckline will have to be high. So I'll trace out the shoulder area. As you can see, I came in by 2 inches for the zipper allowance. Alright, so that 2 inches is going to be for the zipper allowance. You will need to add zipper to this dress. Alright, so I'll just open it up because the back has to be 2 pieces and not 1. So this is what I'm trying to say here. From this point here, I came in by 2 inches. That is going to serve as the zipper allowance. So the difference between the back and the front is the neckline and the zipper allowance. So right now I'm just going to connect all my darts. As you can see, I'm using my hand to replace them on the fabric. Alright, so I'll do same thing to the back pieces. I'll mark it here. I'll use my finger to like know where it is and then make a point here. And after then, I'm just going to remove this pattern. Alright, so I'll remove the pattern paper and connect my dart. So this is the back and this is the front pieces. Can you see? The back and the front. The back is two pieces while the front is on fold. So to connect my dart, I'm now going to connect it to this other side here. Remember, this fabric is on fold, right sides facing each other, so you will need to mark same point on the other side like this to know where your dart is supposed to be. And after then, I'm just going to use my ruler now. I'll connect a straight line across, so that's the area I'm going to stitch my dart on. And then I'm going to open up this other part as well and connect a straight line. So you can see the part I marked. I'm also going to connect a straight line across to meet this other part down. So this is it here. For the two back pieces, you will need to stitch your dart this way. Can you see? So this is how it's going to be. So once I'm done with this, I'm also going to repeat same thing for the front pieces. Alright, so I'll repeat same thing for the front pieces. I'll bring the front and I'm also going to connect a straight line across this way, and I'm also going to use my hand to trace out where the dart is supposed to be on the other side. Alright, so remember the front pieces is on fold, so you trace out where the dart is supposed to be here, and also repeat same thing for this other side. And then you're going to now connect it into a straight line just like this. So by the time you take this to the sewing machine, you're just going to stitch down those parts you marked. Can you see? You stitch here and also stitch down this other part. So let me stitch this and show you guys what it looks like. Before I go over to my sewing machine, I also want to stitch down the neck areas. So I'm going to be using a bias. This is a bias. I'm going to use a bias. I'll place it on the right side this way, stitch it down and then turn it over to the wrong side. I believe you know how to stitch your bias. So this is it here after I was done stitching this. Can you see? I've stitched down the dart. I also went ahead to stitch down the neck area. You can see how beautiful and neat it looks. This is what it looks like from behind. Can you see? I also did same thing to the back pieces as well. So this is what it looks like from the inside. These are the neck areas that I stitched with my bias, and this is what it is. Can you see? Everything is very neat and beautiful. Now the next thing we are going to do now is to cut out a sleeve. At first I wanted to use this black material here to just cut out a short basic sleeve, but at the same time I had to like change my mind and then use my colorful fabric to like have a different sleeve entirely. All right, so the sleeve I later used was a funnel sleeve that you saw. All right, so we are going to cut out the funnel sleeve, but we'll start by drafting it first. So I'm going to use my pattern paper here so that you guys can understand this clearly. From the upper part here, I want to come down to about 4 inches for my sleeve cap. All right, so this is the shoulder area, and from the shoulder area I placed my tape and I came down by 4.5. You can also use 5 inches. All right, so from that point I'm going to come down to my elbow. So you come down to your elbow. So we have like the biceps line, which is this one here, the first line, and this line is the height of our sleeve cap. All right, and we have the elbow here, like the shoulder to your elbow. So now the next thing we are going to now take is the full length of this sleeve, like where you want it to stop. But before then, you're now going to come to the upper part here and then make a point. Can you see I divided it and I make a point? Now this pattern paper is about 24 inches, so I'm using the full length as the full length of my sleeve. All right, so you're going to come to this your bicep line. Remember, this is the bicep line that I told you guys that is going to be the height of our sleeve cap. So I came in by 7 inches. All right, so you're going to mark it there, mark 7 inches. I decided to switch marker. All right, so I came in by 7 inches. So you are going to bring your dress. If you don't know the number you are supposed to mark, you're going to bring your dress and measure around your armhole. So when I did mine, I had to divide it by 2. Whatever you have on your armhole, like this particular dress we are making, measure your armhole and divide it by 2. All right, so I marked it on the biceps line. Then I'll come to this line, which is my elbow line. I'm going to measure whatever I have on my elbow, like your round elbow, divided by 2, and you're also going to add your stitching allowance. So I marked it there as well. Now I'm going to connect from this point now to meet this point. Can you see? Once you're done with that, the next thing now is to get a curve. All right, so to get that curve, you are going to mark from here, from the shoulder. You can see how I'm placing my curved row. Remember that point we marked earlier? So I'm going to connect from the shoulder. So this is what I'm trying to say. From this point here, come in by 4 inches. All right, so if you don't understand, please take note. And from the upper part, divide what you have by 2. Can you see? Just fold your tape this way, make a point. So from that point now, you're now going to connect a curve from the upper part. Can you see? Connect it this way. All right, and once you're done connecting it, you're now going to turn your curved row. So you're going to turn it over like this and then connect another curve to meet this point here. All right, it's as simple as this. So once you're done with this, you're just going to go ahead and smoothen those sharp areas. I don't know what's wrong with my markers. You can see I'm using 2 different markers. Like, I got this, it's not even up to a month, and this is what I'm having already. So I had to work with 2 markers. All right, so you're going to come to the end of your sleeve, like the ankle, and you're going to mark how wide, like how opened you want the funnel to be. So I marked mine 11 inches, and that's because I don't have enough fabric. I would have preferred to use 13 because I wanted it to be very wide. All right, so I connected it from the arm, from this line here to meet the down part, and I'm just going to go ahead and trace this out. So this is what I have here right now, and I'm going to place this on my fabric and also trace out the sleeve. So this is the only fabric I have right now. Remember the fabric I showed you guys earlier? So this is the one that is left. Don't worry, I'm going to explain better. So right now I'll fold this into 2 this way. All right, and then I'm going to place the pattern on it. As you can see, I'm going to place the pattern on it this way, and then I'm just going to pin it down and trace out the sleeve. I'll be cutting out 2 sleeves. All right, these are my 2 sleeves. These are what they look like. So, and I also have my black fabric here. So remember, I've joined the shoulders area. I'm sorry, I misplaced that clip, but I've joined the shoulders area. And right now, this is something we forgot to do on the zipper allowance area. We are going to be taking out 1/2 inch. So this is to prevent our zip from having any bulginess at the back. So you are going to come down to your waistline. All right, so you can come down to your waistline and then connect it. All right, so we are going to come down from that point. You are going to come in by 1/2 inch. All right, so you are going to use it now, connect it from here to the upper part just like this, and you're also going to connect this now downward, and after that just go ahead and cut it out. So once you're done cutting this out, it's now time to fix our sleeve to the dress. So remember, I have joined the shoulders already, and like I said, I misplaced that clip. All right, I'm so sorry. Just go ahead and join your shoulders. So this is it now for the sleeve. I'm going to notch those points, like the upper part. All right, so the part I notch on the sleeve, I'm now going to bring it down to where I joined my shoulders. All right, so this is it here. I'm going to make sure I place everything okay. So I just want to trim off the excess I have along this area, just a little. So now that I'm done, the next thing I'm going to do, where I have my shoulders, where I joined to that shoulder, I'm going to now place my sleeve on it this way, and I'm just going to pin it down. Sorry, so you're going to place it this way and pin it down. So you continue pinning it round, and you're also going to repeat same thing for the other side, and then you're going to take this over to your sewing machine and stitch out those parts using 1/2 inch. So I'll go over to my sewing machine, and I'm also going to stitch down the end of my sleeve. Like I'll first fold in 1/2 inch this way, and then fold in 1/2 inch again and stitch it around. And I'm also going to now repeat same thing for the second sleeve. So guys, this is what I have after I was done stitching down the sleeves. This is what it looks like. I had to fold the end of my sleeve, so this is what it looks like from here. And I also went ahead to join the side of my dress. So this is what we have. As you can see, I just went ahead to join the side here using 1 inch of stitching allowance. All right, this part here, and I also did same thing for the other side. So this is what we have now. So it's now time to join the down part of my dress. So this is the fabric I have cut out already. So that was why I told you guys that I didn't have a lot of fabric to work with for the sleeve area. So for this fabric here, what I cut out here is about 4 yards. But before then, let me show you guys the width of this. So the width of this is 18 inches, but what we have now is 17 inches, and that's because I have folded the down part of these pieces here. So I'm using my full length. As for example, the length I want it to stop is 39 inches. So the length I have while drafting out the, as you can see, the part I have folded. All right, so on the upper part here as well, I also went in by 1/2 inch and I did a gather stitch. So I'm going to explain the length later, but before then, you can see how long this is. It's about 4 yards. You can use up to 5 yards if you want it to be very, very full. Remember, we are going to be having this is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying my best to explain this better. So I did gather stitch. So I'm just going to pick one of the stitch, like the ropes, and then start drawing this out. Can you see? If you are making gather stitch, you need all the patience. You just need to take your time. So I will just continue doing it this way until I get what I want. Now for the length of this, these pieces. I cut out 18 inches at first, and then I had to use 1 inch to fold the end of these pieces because they don't have to be rough. All right, so at the end I had 17 inches. While drafting out the upper bodice, I had about 23 inches in length, and the full length I'm working with is 39 inches. So I minus 23 from 39, and the one that was left is what I used to cut out these pieces that I'm also going to be adding to the dress, to the upper part. I hope you understand. So whatever you have, you're going to minus some inches that you're going to use for the upper part, for the down part, and this is what I have here. Now the length for this is 4 yards. I use 4 yards because I want it to be somehow fuller. All right, so I'm just doing some gather stitch. As you can see, it's not easy, but you just need to take your time and then run gather stitch and then do it just like what I'm doing here. So by the time I'm done, I'll show you guys what I have. So this is what I have after I was done making mine. So I've been able to like pull all of these, and I now have something looking like this. Can you see? So you will need to do yours this way. If you want it fuller this way, you can go ahead and do it, but if you don't want it like this, you can use about 3 yards. All right, so it's now time to now join this to my fabric. First, you are going to measure your fabric, what you have. That is how to know the length of the gathers you are supposed to make. All right, so I'll measure all through this point like this. You're going to measure all through like this, so you know how much gathers, like how the length of the gathers you are supposed to have. So this is it here, whatever I have now, that's what I need to have on the gathers. So I had about 40 something inches, so I'm going to measure this to know if what I have here is up to that. So you're now going to continue drawing it if you have excess, but if you know you don't have excess, all right, and you are short of fabrics, you just need to bring it out a little. So I'll measure this now to be sure if what I have is up to 40 something inches. So guys, as you can see, what I have here is not up to 40 something inches, so I'm just going to bring them out a little. Can you see? I'll just pull them out a little until I have the length I'm working with. All right, so you will need to bring them out. Can you see what I'm doing? You will need to bring them out again just like this until you have the length you are working with. So I'll continue doing this, and once I've gotten the length, I'm just going to like go over and stitch it down on the dress. So you can see I want to measure this again, so I'll continue doing this until I get the exact length I'm working with. So while doing this, once you've gotten the length you need, what you just need to do is to now bring the black fabric, and you're going to place them right sides facing each other like this. Can you see? Place them right side facing each other just like this, and then you're going to pin it down, or better still, take this over to your sewing machine and stitch it down using 1/2 inch all round. This is what I have after I was done making mine. So this is what I was trying to explain to you guys. So this is how it looks. I've not even ironed this yet, and this is what it looks like. So by the time you are done, you are going to have something looking very, very beautiful just like this. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed, please do well to hit on the subscribe button and please share. All right, leave a comment and share. So I have to pin down the areas I'm going to be fixing my zip. So these are the part I'll fix my zip, and we are just done with the dress. So once I fix my zip, that is all for the tutorial. So thanks for watching. If you watched this far, thank you so much. Please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. This is what the dress looks like. I haven't even ironed this yet. I just decided to put this on my mannequin and show you what it looks like. So by the time I iron it out, everything is going to be very straight. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.